Alright, hi again guys. I'm going to try to be a little bit louder for this video since I was kind of quiet for the last one. So we're going to go ahead and keep talking about number stories, but with fractions. So yesterday you guys did some fraction practice with the clock model. My handwriting on the computer is not nearly as nice as that guy's, but he helped you kind of break down fractions using a clock and helped you make sense as to why we say like a half hour, quarter of an hour, things like that. So today we're going to use those fractions now to try to solve some word problems. So let's go ahead and start with number one. Josiah is painting his bedroom. Each of his four walls needs 3/4 gallon of paint. He has 4 2/4 gallons of paint. How much will he have left over? So the question we want to answer is how much will he have? I'm not going to have any room for my number model if I do that. How much will he have left over? So I'm going to go ahead and figure out, so if he's starting with 4 2/4 gallons of paint, I'm going to start knowing that he has 4 2/4. Now we're going to subtract out whatever he is going to use on the walls. So how much will he have left lets us know when it says left over, kind of lets us know that subtraction is going to have to be involved. So we're going to have to subtract out whatever it is that he is going to use. So he has 4 walls, so I'm going to multiply my 4 walls by the 3/4 that will, 3/4 of a gallon needed per wall, because each wall needs 3/4 of a gallon. So it's as if we're adding 3/4 4 times, except we know multiplication is a lot easier of a way to do that. So if I went ahead and solved for this using the multiplying fractions, I would want to turn my 4 wholes into 4 over 1, because remember 1 goes into 4 4 times, so 4 ones is going to be equivalent to sorry, just sneezed, muted myself to sneeze. For 12s, it's going to be equivalent to 4, so I'm going to multiply that by the 3/4. So now I'm just going to multiply across, and I know that 4 times 3 equals 12, and 4 times 1 equals 4, and I'm going to ask myself, how many times can I put 4 into 12, which I know is 3 times. So I know he's going to use 3 gallons of paint to paint the walls. So next, I'm going to have to subtract my 4 2/4 minus the 3 gallons that he uses, and that is going to get me 1.5 gallons. Like that. 1.5 gallons. Now, how many quarts is this? We know that there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So what I'm going to have to do is multiply my 1.5 times my 4 quarts, because there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So for every gallon there is, I have to multiply by 4 to get my new answer. So this looks really complicated to multiply. So there's 2 ways that I can do this. I can either multiply 4 times 1 and multiply those 2 whole numbers together first to get 4. Or I can multiply 4 times a half, and then I can multiply 4 times a half, which is going to get me to 2. And then I add those together to get 6 quarts. So my other option I could have done is I could have turned 1.5 into an improper fraction, which would have been 3 halves, and multiplied that by 4, which would be 4 over 1, which is going to get us 12 over 2, which we know 2 goes into 12 6 times. So either way, it's going to get us to 6 quarts. It's just a matter of which way you prefer. So like I said, you can multiply the 4 by each part and then add them together, or you could turn your mixed number into an improper fraction. So let's take a look at number 2 now. Dartriana, I don't know where they get these names from. Dartriana's bedroom is slightly larger than Josiah's. Each of her 4 walls will need 7/8 gallons of paint. she has 3 3/8 gallons of paint. How much more does she need? So this one's going to be a little different because I know that she's going to need more than what she already has. So there is going to be subtraction involved, except this time I'm going to start with what she needs, which is going to be 4 times 7/8. And then I'm going to subtract what she does have for paint already, which is going to be 3 3/8 in my gorgeous computerized handwriting. And that's going to get me X, because it's my number 1 model, the unknown, which I should have for number 1. Put X there too. So we're just going to go back and do that. So now I need to solve the same way I did for number 1. So I'm going to take my 4 walls times the 7/8 gallons that are needed. To solve for that. And 7 times 4, I know, is 28. 8 times 1 is 8. I know that I can put 8 into 28 3 times, and I will have 4 left over. So I know that she's going to need 3 4/8 gallons of paint, and she only has 3 3/8. So if I subtract 3 4/8, which is what she needs, minus what she does need, or what she has, I'm sorry, that's going to show us that 3 minus 3 is 0, so there's not going to be a whole number anymore. So those cancel each other out. And then 4/8 minus 3/8 is going to get us 1/8. So she needs, oops, that was a really nice one, 1/8 gallons of paint. So now we need to figure out how many pints that's going to be. So we know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon, like we talked about last time, and there are 2 pints in a quart. So that would make 8 pints in 1 quart. So I'm going to have to multiply my 1/8 gallons times 8, which is going to get us 8 times 1 over 8 times 1, which is going to be 8 over 8. Ooh. That is not an 8. That's not even a number. 8 eighths gallon of paint, which is going to be 1 whole, or pints, which is going to be 1 whole pint. So now that we've gotten all my ugly handwriting over with, I have another Google form you're going to fill out. It's just like the one you guys did on Tuesday, where I'm going to have the rest of the worksheet up top, and then you're going to put the answers in for the answers on the Google form. So let me know if you have any questions.